Lady Ember and the Little Flame by Greg Salters. This is an upper intermediate level B2 Flamma Indomita story.
The library hummed with life on a crisp Saturday morning. Families trickled in, their chatter filling the air as children clutched picture books and begged for stories. At the heart of it all, Lady Ember Gleam adjusted her sequined gown, its fiery reds and oranges glinting like a phoenix rising from ash. Her long, glittering nails carefully flipped through a brightly illustrated book titled The Flame That Would Not Fade by Leo Martinez. She took a breath, steadying herself for another installment of her beloved stories with sparkle. The children adored her. How could they not? Lady Ember brought every story to life, her deep, melodic voice shaping each character with care. When she read the part of a shy mouse, her voice would quiver timidly. As a bold adventurer, it boomed with excitement, drawing the children into the tale with every shift in tone. Her flamboyant presence made every tale feel like a grand adventure, her laughter drawing smiles even from the surest kids. But today, as the director gave her a thumbs up from behind the circulation desk, Lady Ember caught sight of a group gathered near the library's entrance. They weren't here for the stories. "Why is this even allowed?" barked one of the protesters, their signs blaring slogans like "Protect our kids" and "No drag in our library." "This isn't education. It's indoctrination. They're corrupting children with these books, and this nonsense," another added, their voice trembling with fury. Behind the front desk, the library director, Miss Carlson, kept her smile steady as she welcomed arriving families. She was a steadfast ally, never wavering in her support for Lady Ember or the library's mission to provide a safe space for all. But the murmurs of protest grew louder. Lady Ember closed her book and stepped toward the commotion, her heels clicking on the polished floor. The children and their parents watched, confused, as she approached the group. "Good morning," she said, her voice calm yet commanding, her gaze steady and unflinching. With a subtle tilt of her head and a poised hand resting lightly on her hip, she radiated confidence that filled the room and quieted the murmurs around her. "Welcome to the library. I see you're all here with strong opinions, which is your right. But I have to ask, what do you fear so much about a little sparkle and a good story?" The protesters muttered among themselves. One woman stepped forward. "This isn't about you, specifically. It's about protecting our community from inappropriate influences. And those books," she gestured to the library shelves, "they have no place here. Children shouldn't be exposed to such things." Lady Ember tilted her head, her lashes glittering like golden thread. "Such as books about things they're too young to understand," the woman stammered, "like questioning who they are or being different." Miss Carlson stepped forward with calm authority, her posture firm yet welcoming as she met the protesters' eyes directly. "I understand your concern," she said evenly, her voice carrying over the murmurs, "but this library is a haven for everyone. By providing diverse stories, we ensure that every child feels seen and valued. That's what we stand for here: learning, understanding, and inclusion. I'd like to remind everyone that our library is a place for learning, exploration, and inclusivity. These books are here because they reflect the diversity of the world and the children who live in it. Exposing children to stories that affirm their experiences isn't harmful, it's empowering." One of the parents near the story circle spoke up. "My daughter loves these books. They've helped her feel less alone. I alone will choose what my daughter reads, just as you and you alone should choose what your children read if you have any." A murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd of onlookers, emboldened by the parents' words. The woman hesitated, her expression softening slightly as she glanced at the children, who were listening intently. Lady Ember met her gaze and added, "We're not here to change anyone. We're here to help children see that who they are is already enough." The tension in the air eased as the protesters began to lower their signs, some quietly leaving while others lingered uncertainly. Lady Ember returned to the reading circle, her voice steady and inviting as she opened the book, ready to continue spreading her light. "Ah," said Lady Ember, her smile softening. "You're afraid of what children might learn if they're given the chance to see themselves in a story." Lady Ember returned to the reading circle, leaving the murmuring protesters behind. She opened the flame that would not fade and began to read, her voice calm and inviting. Once, there was a little flame that flickered quietly in the shadows. The children leaned closer, their eyes wide with curiosity, as if they could feel the warmth of the tiny flame through the pages. A soft gasp came from one girl, and a boy leaned forward, resting his chin in his hands, completely enraptured by the story. It was small, but it was warm, and it always hoped it could grow. The children leaned in, captivated. The illustration showed a tiny rainbow-colored flame standing bravely in a dark forest. The flame's light was soft but steady, pushing back the shadows that tried to swallow it. The flame met cold winds that tried to snuff it out. Darkness that tried to quell its light. Lady Ember continued, her voice dropping to a dramatic hush. It met heavy rains that tried to drown its spark. But the flame whispered to itself, I'll take the rainbow with all the rain. I'll take the darkness with all the light. For I am the fire that tempests sustain. In the story, the little flame grew brighter, fueled by its determination. Shadows melted away, revealing a beautiful, vibrant world. The children gasped as the flame's colors burst from the page, shimmering like a prism in the sun. And so the little flame grew and grew, Lady Ember read, unafraid of the shadows, for it knew that its light could not be dimmed. One child raised a hand. Is the flame real? Lady Ember smiled. What do you think? As the story ended, the protesters had thinned, their voices drowned by the applause of parents and children alike. Miss Carlson approached Lady Ember with a knowing smile. Beautifully done, she said softly. Lady Ember closed the book, her gaze lingering on the final illustration. The flame, now tall and bright, standing in a world of color. Its light seemed to embrace everything around it, a vivid reminder that even the smallest sparks can transform the darkest places into something beautiful. She placed the book gently on her lap and whispered to herself, Thank you, Flamma. And for just a moment, the air seemed to shimmer as if the little flame had flickered to life in the heart of the library, glowing steady and strong.
Thanks for listening. For more great Flamma Indomitor adventures, visit the Queer Triptych at www.queertriptych.weebly.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe.